It's time for the 2013 YouTube survey. I know people are dying to know what I have to say. I was tagged by the lovely Casey Conundrum. You should go check her out because she's pretty cool. Let's start with some questions. What is your biggest fear? Much like Alex Day, who started this whole YouTube survey thing, I have two answers to this question. There's the more, surface level fear, which is I'm terrified of rats and mice and gerbils, hamsters, all the little rodent things that populate this earth. I'm terrified, can't stand them, cannot even be, I hate them. Can't stand them, can't do that. There's the more involved question, which is I am terrified of being forgotten. I can't grasp the fact that I'm going to die and then people aren't going to care or know about me after that. So I'm so involved in trying to do stuff that people will remember me by when I go, which makes me entirely selfish, but also human. And how did you find out that Santa wasn't real? This is really kind of a lame story. There's no grandiose discovery of mine. Basically, I thought I was too cool for school, and I went up to my mom one day. She was sitting on the couch, and I was like, I know that Santa isn't real. And she was like, just don't tell your sister. And I was like, oh, I actually didn't really believe that. I was just trying to be a jerk. So lesson, kids, don't be a jerk, or else you feel terrible. What's the best idea you've ever had? I have no idea what the best idea I've ever had. I mean, I think going to university is probably what I would say to that answer. I did get my English degree out of it. I met some of my best friends out of that experience. I learned a lot about myself going through that experience. So I guess that's probably the best idea I've ever had, is decide I'm going to be going to university. As far as other stuff, I feel that there's this one idea that I just came across this summer that I have no way to actualize. So this is going to be like brain crack that's always going to stay with me until I get millions and millions of dollars, which is I feel that malls are wrong. And not so much that I don't believe that people should go and shop for things, that the whole idea of a mall where you take a car and you drive someplace and then you buy stuff is ridiculous in a lot of ways. And I would love to see malls become more of a cultural center. Yes, places to shop, but also say like a swimming pool and a racetrack and gardens and places to walk and like community centers and theaters, not just for movies, but for plays and stuff like that too, where it's a cultural center. It's where people are always going to, maybe even having apartments or condos like attached to the mall itself. Like it's a community. It's a place where people commune together and talk about things and ask those great big ideas. And then also, go to Burberry and buy something that's overpriced and ridiculous. But I want that. Most embarrassing thing your parents have ever done? I remember one time in high school, and I grew up on a farm about 15 minutes out of town. And one day my dad was picking me up from school because there was probably some thing that we had to go off and do quickly. But he came literally straight from the farm. So like rubber boots and coveralls and like old hat and dirty and like mud on his boots and probably more stuff than just mud. And I was mortified, like, I can't believe you're standing there wearing that. I didn't say anything to him. I was like, I'm just the worst person for coming over here and talking to you. Nowadays, though, I think back, like, who cares? Like, really, who cares? Of course, when you're a teenager, you care a lot how people look and how people perceive you. And, social status is that whole shebang. Does anyone use that word anymore? Probably not. If you were only allowed to pick one career for the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, my one career that I would pick, I mean, I would love to do YouTube full time, but my actual career that I would love to do that I've had a passion for since a very young age, when I snuck out of my bed and watched David Letterman as a kid, was I'd love to be a talk show host. Ugh, you'd be terrible at that. Thank you. It's just something that I would just love to do, to sit down and talk to interesting people, delve into their lives, have like a deep conversation, which I realize that a lot of talk shows don't do, but that's how I'd structure my show. Have my 15, 20 minutes, maybe even an hour, depending on the format, and sit down and be like, let's just talk for this long, and whatever comes up, comes up. That has been the 2013 YouTube survey. If you also want to do the survey, be my guest. You are all invited to do it. However, if I have to tag a single person, I would love for Nick Molnar or Nickmo441 to actually make a video again and answer these questions. Have a great day. Oh, and I will see you all next Thursday for another vloggy thing. I'm good at YouTube. We all know that graphs help illustrate our point. That's why I made this. a very handy. I want you to see every chest hair that I have. And also, if you have anything that you